Derry's not like any town I've ever been in before. People die or disappear 6 times the national average. And that's just grown-ups. Kids are worse. Way worse.
27 ans après un téléfilm pas folichon, l'un des plus grands romans de Stephen King est adapté au cinéma dans un film qui se concentre sur l'une des 2 temporalités du récit, l'enfance du club des losers.
We like hanging with you. Thanks. You shouldn't think it's too much. Hanging out with us makes you a loser too.
Ces jeunes ados affrontent le clown Gripsou, entité malveillante qui enlève les jeunes habitants de la ville de Derry. Ça nous donne déjà l'occasion de parler d'un couple de créateurs talentueux, à savoir Andy et Barbara Muschietti. Car comme nombre de cinéastes, le réalisateur de Mama est épaulé par une femme productrice, en l'occurrence sa grande sœur, sans qui cette adaptation n'aurait sans doute pas pu voir le jour.
We've known each other for 44 years, so that creates a shorthand that is impossible for me to have with anyone or for him to have with anyone. At the same time, we are extremely different in the way we operate. I'm the one that tries to impose some order and he's the more rebellious, more carefree person.
This is day 1 and we are at Henry Bauer's house.
So in that sense, I think we work very well. We fight every day. I mean, it's natural. We're siblings, but we tend to fight about things that are not about the DNA of the stories.
L'ADN de l'histoire, c'est déjà le monstre éponyme au mode opératoire très particulier.
Hiya, Georgie.
It is a monster that doesn't shy away from exposing himself. In fact, like his modus operandi is more like becoming an exposed bait for children. That's why he dresses up as a clown.
Do you want it back?
You're not talking about a monster in the classic way of monsters, where normally you try to hide it. It was an exploration on behavior, how to make this monster horrifying with having him in the shot, not attacking but having a conversation, how to make him unstable. And it was about this slow build-up where you see initially a character that is luring and sweet and cute, and slowly it goes into a weird, erratic behavior, and how he enjoys playing with his victim. I wanted to basically, drill on that aspect of the scene.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
Le caractère polymorphe du clown Gripsou a également donné l'occasion à Muschietti de se réapproprier la créature, notamment en s'inspirant d'un peintre qui avait déjà guidé l'apparence du monstre de Mama.
The fear of Modigliani is something that is very personal that I carry from childhood, and I expect a lot of people to be afraid of it also. The rest of the incarnations of it, they have like different natures. Stephen King was talking about growing up in the 50s. He grew up in the 50s, so he knew very well what he's talking about. And the children of his generation were very afraid of like movie monsters, like all the universal monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein and Creature of the Black Lagoon. And I wanted to bring something a little more layered that talks about things like trauma, childish trauma, and yeah, Modigliani paintings too.
Barbara Muschietti s'est également réapproprié l'œuvre de Stephen King en s'impliquant sur l'écriture du personnage le plus touchant du film, victime d'attouchement sexuel de son père.
It was very important for me to see how Beverly was dealt with. It was a very delicate balance that Andy could have done on his own very well because he's a very smart young man. But it is a very touchy subject, and I didn't want to see any mud on it.
Autre adaptation par rapport à l'œuvre originale, un travail visuel poussé sur le monde souterrain hanté par Gripsou.
Look, it's all connected by the sewers. That's where it lives.
Well, there was, of course, like the challenge of trying to create a world that is part real and grounded, and in part has that fantasy in it, because it somehow has been shaped or molded by by the presence of it. In the book, there's so much about the macroverse and that other dimension where it comes from. This is a particular take on that aspect of on that geography of the story.
L'ampleur de ces décors est éloquente de l'ambition de ce projet, au budget pourtant très raisonnable.
We came into this production with a bigger film in our heads, and then there was money to make the film. For Andy, scope was very important to tell this story. It's a big story, and we didn't want to make a small movie. So as a producer, that was quite a challenge. And I don't know that the studio understood the scope we wanted, the size we wanted to the film. Very possibly because we were not clear enough. It was hard.
Reste que le triomphe historique de la bande-annonce de ça annonçait déjà les chiffres monumentaux du film au box-office américain. On peut d'ailleurs se demander si ce succès a poussé le studio à accorder plus d'argent pour la post-production.
Not one penny. And we asked, but it didn't work.
Maybe for a sequel.